if they wanted it like I wanted it, nobody could have told me otherwise.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I want them to be smart and well-rounded, because to be an actor or an artist in any kind of way, any kind of creative expression, you have to know from life what you're talking about. And that only comes from observation, listening, learning, constantly getting more and more equipment and tools going on.
Right.
We get our tools from life itself.
Of course.
You know. And I would encourage them that work ethic is very important, because you can lose a job being the most talented kid they've ever seen, but you don't have a work ethic, meaning you're late, meaning you're disruptive, meaning you're negative and pull other people down, meaning you're rude. You know, I've been cursed out. I've had chair thrown at me by choreographers, and there's just a certain composure they were never going to break in me. I may go home and cry, I may call my daddy, I may go in the dressing room and say a few things, but my greatest force was that you're never going to make me act like you.
Yeah.
I don't care how ghetto, how nasty, I don't care what you say, because you're not God and you do not know my destiny. And I don't ever want to see a teacher or a director break the spirit of a young person. Just remember, everybody doesn't know everything, so you have to have self-knowledge.
Right.
I was told not to go to New York and Atlanta Ballet. They told me I was not ready.
So how did you deal with that? How do you deal with the rejection? As a young Jasmine guy, when you know what you know and you know who you are and what you want to be and you are focused, all you see is the ending result and you know what it's going to be. But somebody's in your ear like, yeah, you can't do that. You know, this is not realistic.
I'm always told no at some level, and it's usually in a transition. You know, at that time it was transition from Atlanta to New York. I've transitioned from a dancer to an actor. I've transitioned from an actor to a writer. I've transitioned into directing. Someone is going to say, "But do you know how to do that?" What makes you think you know how to do that? Well, if I don't know, I'm going to find out, number one. There's usually a book about anything you want to know. Usually there's a book. Literally. I got a book called How to Write a Nonfiction Book Proposal. And I followed it to the T so I could write that book proposal to submit to Atria Books. Because I didn't know. So you have to, and I ask people. I talked to Kenny Leon about directing. I've called Pearl Clegg about writing this play I'm doing. There are people all around you that do know. You know, and you need to don't be so proud or full of yourself that you can't say, I don't know. I didn't walk into Colored Girls acting like I knew what I was doing.
Of course. Yeah.
At times I had to say, I don't know yet.
Right.
You're right, that's a good question. I don't know yet.
Right. Tell me, who is Afeni Shakur and what does she mean to you?
Afeni Shakur is the mother of Tupac Shakur. And I met her the first time Tupac was shot in New York. He was shot 5 times in his body, different parts of his body. And I went to court. He was due in court the next day after he was shot. And I saw him in the wheelchair all bandaged up, and it was pretty sad and pathetic. And he was surrounded by his family and friends. And she reached out to me and hugged me and Jada Pinkett Smith for being there. And later that evening called me and asked if I could help in some way while he was trying to heal, because he would not be in the hospital because he was paranoid after that. He didn't know who shot him. So he didn't want to just be sitting, you know, in some public place like a sitting duck, you know. And we became friends during that period, which was a very stressful and kind of dark time. But we bonded over that boy, that man, you know. And we've been friends ever since. And when I went to her to tell her story, either as a film or a book, it wasn't for me to write. I just wanted her to tell her story, and I was going to help her get it to the right people.
Right, okay.
I was thinking Nikki Giovanni, Toni Morrison, Sonia Sanchez, And then I saw her movie as a courtroom drama. Because that part of her life as a Panther, when she was arrested, and the 11 months she spent in jail and defended herself with no more than a high school education and was acquitted. I still find an amazing story, amazing courtroom drama.
Right.
Then she comes out of court pregnant, she's been acquitted, and I knew Tupac would take care of the rest of the story. Because he's born 2 months later, and Tupac's going to tell his story.
Right, right.
So this was all before he died, and that was the plan. And when we went to go start pitching her story to New Line and Lionsgate and all those movie places, he died, and we dropped the project. And so there is a 7-year gap from when I first started interviewing her for the book to when we picked it up again.
Okay. Her strength is incredible. What do you take from her strength? With all that she's been through, she was a Black Panther. She's the mother of Tupac Shakur. I mean, that's by itself is a job. I can only imagine. Okay, I mean, and just being, she carried him incarcerated. She carried him incarcerated. So the spirit that was put on her unborn child.
All the men in the party left the women behind with those children, with Panther kids. She was on welfare. She had 2 children by then. She was on crack cocaine. She recovered. She's on crack when Pop got started dancing for Digital Underground.
Okay.
So he's starting to blow up, and she's a crackhead.
Wow. Okay.
And the baby sister is 14 when she's on drugs and just basically gets abandoned for a while. Her recovery was very important to her. She wanted that book to be more about her recovery than her years as a Panther. In fact, she hates the title of the book, which I didn't change because it's such a cool title. Evolution of a Revolutionary. Come on.
Yeah.
Okay, originally I had 9 Lives of a Black Panther because the theme that I saw in her life was resilience. Landing on her feet, getting back up, knocking down, getting back up every time. And through a lot of abandonment, but when I came up with evolution, it's because she had dealt with her anger. And she realized that it was her anger that was eating her alive. And that's why she fought. You know, she was such a fighter. I mean, physically, she cussed you out. She walked around angry.
But he was a fighter.
Yes.
He was a fighter.
They're
He
very
fought to the
similar.
end.
Mhm.
Yeah. What makes you nervous?
This? No, I'm just first days.
First days.
First days, you know, first day of just not knowing my environment, not knowing the job really, or the people that I'm working with, or, you know, I still get jitters. I get, you know, live performance jitters, but not overwhelming like those nerves on my first day on Harlem Nights. Not like that, where I was just sweating and trying to look like I was not bothered, you know.
What makes you happy?
My kid.
Yeah. What makes you upset?
Disrespect.
Absolutely.
I can't take being disrespectful.
So you are front and center's first echo of an icon. So I'm gonna allow some of our rebound kids to open up the floor to the rebound kids.
Great.
They have their,
if
they
they're
have
still
questions.
awake.
But what we want to know, what I want to know personally, since we want to hear your echo. If you could have a last words, like this is, you have 1 day left to live, and Jasmine Guy has an echo she wants everybody to hear. What would that echo be?
Know God, know yourself. You know, y'all are very lucky to have Kiki Finley in your life. I hope y'all realize that. She believes in you and She loves you in a very deep place. She gives a lot of herself, and I'm just honored that you asked me to do this and to be a part of your dream to make a difference in other people's lives.